Splices are generally considered to be stronger than knots. For instance, a bowline reduces the strength of the rope to about 45%, but an I-splice only reduces it to about 90%. Similarly, the short splice has a strength of about 90%. Splices, as you can imagine, take longer to make than tying knots, but are more or less permanent. That is, if you want to remove the splice, you're better off cutting it off than undoing it. We are now going to have a look at the back splice. This is a method of putting a permanent ending on a rope. However, in the process it also thickens the rope, so before performing this you must make sure that if the end of the rope is to run through a block or bit, that it will fit. So once that's decided, you can then begin. First of all, you cut off the whipping you had on the end of the line, and you are going to do a minimum of 3 tucks in this natural fibre rope. If it was synthetic, a minimum of 4, and then if we're going to put a taper on the end of the splice so that it gradually reduces like this one, you take off another 3 turns. So we'll take off 1, 2, 3, we'll do 4, and then 1, 2, 3. We'll also undo the other 2. Now, if you like, you could put a strangler around here to control that, and probably one on the end of each end, which may assist you later when completing your tucks. The first thing you have to do is put a crown knot on the top of the splice. This in effect turns these around so they're pointing down the rope. So you put the first one over there, the second one over there, and the third one over and through that loop there. Then proceed to pull them down firmly. Forming your crown knot. Once that has been achieved, you then begin your tucks. The first one goes over this strand and under this one. This is where your Swedish fit comes in very handy, because you can open the lay and feed the strand through, pulling it down, rotate over this one and under this one, pulling it down, and the third one over this one and under this one. Take the time just to pack it all down, give them all a pull. And then proceed to the next 3 tucks, and over this one and under the next one, And so you push your fed into the direction that you're going to be pulling the strand through. That means when you come to pull it out, you can pull the strand at the same time. Over that one, under this one, push it through, pulling the fed out and the strand through at the same time. Roll it over. Later on, when you're using these videos, you can stop them and pause them and go back to study what has happened. If you don't pick it up the first time through, give these a good strong pull to settle them down into the rope. That's two, and we've got one coming out between each one. You then go around again over that one, under this one, over that one, under this one, this is where if you put a little strangler on the end of these strands, just make it a little bit easier to push through, and they wouldn't come apart like that. Over that one, over there, and through there. And then proceed to pull them down the rope to settle them into position. At this stage you could give it a little roll on the table to even them out a little bit. You even do it on the floor. 1, 2, 3. Now I've done our 3 tucks. Now we'll do some thinning. These strands are made up of 7, 4 and 3, so we'll take 3 out, and take the remaining 4 over one and under one, move back, go to the next one, break it off, keeping 4, taking 3 out, over one, and under one, and the last one over here. 1, take 3 out, and the road, over one, under that one, and pull them all down. 1, 2, 3. They're the 3 you're going to discard. Now we can do one more tuck. So one more tuck. So we'll halve these. Come back down to 2. 2. So we go over this one, under this one. Back around to the next one. Got your 2 remaining. So it's over this one, over this one, and under this one. Right, so you got your first lot and your second lot, 1, 2, 3, and you got your final one, and just give them all a good pull. Right, so we could do one more tuck if you wanted to, in which case you'd then just do one strand. That will pull quits there, and we'll just roll it all. Roll on the floor with your foot would be ideal. Any strands that aren't good, you can just get hold of and pull them through with your fid. Then, when it's necessary, we can trim all these ends, sitting down. Take your scissors or knife and 1, 2, and then you have your tapered back splice. Apart from sealing off the end of a line, as we've discussed, there are other uses for the back splice. One is if you wish to permanently attach a ring to a line, in which case the crown knot encompasses the ring. On the James Craig there are numerous examples where chain sheets are attached to rope tails for easier handling by the crew, such as here. The upper topsail sheets, for example, are one place where these are used. both in the foremast and the mainmast, also up above that to go out in the royal. This one relies on the fact that the line is not a larger diameter than the link. If it is, as in this example here, a different technique is used, which we will cover in the advanced course on maritime rope work. We are now going to have a look at an eye splice. This is a permanent loop in a line. As you'll see from following slides, it comes in different configurations. What we're going to do is a soft eye, and then later on you'll see where you put thimbles in it becomes hard eyes, and then stopped eye splices and so forth. But the details of preparing those others are covered in the advanced course. In this course we're just going to have a look at the soft eye. So taking your piece of 12mm line that you prepared earlier, you could take the whipping off the end, determine the size of the eye you want, say a 4-inch eye, that size there, and then you'll have to work out how much tail you want on it. So we're going to do a tapered eye splice, and it's natural fibre, so there'll be three tucks before you start the taper. If it was synthetic line, you do at least 4. So we go, it's 1, 2, 3, that's for the initial tucks, and then 1, 2, 3 for the taper. Okay, so undo these ones. If you like, you could put a strangler in the end of each of these strands to stop the fibres coming apart, and you could even probably put one here. Now you want your 4-inch eye, so come across there and take your marking pen or put the strangler in and mark on both. Then you're ready to start to do the splice. You have your Swedish fid handy. It makes life a lot easier when tucking, although not completely necessary. You are now ready to proceed with your tucks. Place lines together. Hold here, you've got one strand to the right, one to the left, and one in the middle. So put your fid in here. Place the strand in. Pull it through. Right. Then if you turn it to the left, place your fid into here. You're going over one, under one. Then you turn your loop over onto its back, and you take this strand here and go through in here, place that through there, and pull it out. You then have your 3 initial tucks all coming out with one strand in between, and then proceed to, and note on the back of it how these two are parallel to one another. Now you can go ahead and do the two more full tucks in succession, doing one tuck at a time. One, roll it back, in through there, up through there, two, and this one, in through there, and settle the three of them into their tucks. And note we've still got 1, 2, 3, and then for the third tuck, go around again. Sometimes it pays to just unwind the line a little bit to ease getting your fid under the strand. One, and over one, under one, under one, over that one, right, that's completed your 3 tucks. Give them all pull, and you could also roll the splice with your hand or with your foot just to settle it down. Now, as I mentioned before, if this was synthetic, you would do another tuck. Now, to put the taper in, we'll reduce the size. We'll reduce the size of these strands. So they're made up of, if you look at them, they're made up of 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we'll take 3 off. And left that one on top, so we'll go over one and under one. Move to the next one. And that. Put that one down there. And remember, over one, under one. Twist these together. Oops. And one, the last one. We've got 3. Oh. This will go over one and under one. All a good tug. 1, 2, 4. So that's the 3 that are left out. Then you've got 3 remaining, and if you wish, you could now say drop out one strand and tuck the remaining 2 over one. Over one. Yeah. Go around. Taking these 2, I'll take out 1. When you're doing this, be careful not to split a strand with your fid. Oops. If you get one that's like that, you can just give that a tug. And the final one, which will be go over one. Take one out. Through there, pull it out. Oops. It looks a bit hairy, but more like a good pull in sequence. Now, put it down, give it a roll, and take your knife or scissors, cut these off. Finish off with another roll. And there you have your 4-inch, my hand's roughly 4 inches across there, 4-inch soft eye splice. Right, we've unlaid the first rope, put our strangler on. We'll now unlay the second rope to be joined. 3, 4, 5, 6, same length. 6. You now take and marry the two ropes together. In other words, put that between there, turn that one over, and put that one between there, so you have the lines married between each. Now, if you like, you could put a tie on this just to keep it out of your road. Now, it's a case of following the same system as you did with the others. That is, over one, under one, over one, under one, rotate the line, over one, under one, rotate it, over one, under one, settle your strands in. Right, and away we go again. Over one, over one, under one, over one, under one, one more, over one, under one, again settle each one down, and in this case we're only going to do 3, so over one, that's 3 full tucks, over one, under one, over one. Sounds a bit monotonous, but there we are. And that'll give us out 3 full tucks. Oops. A little rolling thing again. Okay, so that's to there. You can put a 4th tuck in if you like, or we can just go straight into the tapers. But before we do that, we'll attack the other end. So we'll just swap our line around. cast off your constrictor knot if you can, otherwise go for the knife. And you start the process again. Over one, under one, under one, over one, under one. Now the second tuck. As you can imagine, the friction created by what you'll end up with, say 6 full tucks, is quite considerable. Hence, Splice can preserve most of the strength of the rope, and is far less bulky than if you tried to join the two with a knot. It's 2, and then third knot, over one, that gives you your 3 full tucks. Set it down, roll it. Now, as with the I-Splice, you can now go into a sequence of reducing these and tucking them, say, over another full three turns, the 3 tucks. Right, now that we've completed our tapering on both ends, this is exactly the same as you did with the back splice and the I-Splice, and you cut off the tails. Both ends. Again, give the splice a good rolling, like this, or with your foot on the deck. And there you have your short splice. You notice the difference in diameter, so you could would only be used where the line is passing through either a large block or bit and is not likely to jam. If that was going to be the case, you would do a long splice, which we will cover in the next practical video.